Hey guys, what's happening? It's Richard here from Channel 23. So I was looking through all my old videos just to kind of reminisce on old times, if you will. And I used to have a series of old videos that were basically what comics is now, but they were called Batman vlogs. Basically the point of a Batman vlog is anything Batman related, news, reviews, stuff like that, kind of give you guys up-to-date stuff on everything in the world of Batman. However, I noticed, and this is just something that I thought was kind of weird, I didn't have a single video about my obsession with Batman. I know! What kind of sense does that make? I mean, you guys see Batman all the time in my videos, you ask me enough questions, I get enough sarcastic comments saying, oh, are you a Batman fan? Yeah, I'm reading your comments. Don't think I'm not. But I don't have a single solitary video strictly about my obsession with Batman until today. You know, you guys have asked me all the time, well, how'd you get into Batman? Where did that start from? And I've answered your questions saying, you know, I was a kid, I saw the first Batman movie, you know, yada, 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 blah, 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 the rest is history. However, I do have documentation proving that I might have been a little bit younger than 5 years old when I first started into Batman. Here's an old Polaroid of me, decked out in Batman. I look a lot younger, and plus, I think that was my old house, and I didn't move into the house I'm in right now until I was like 5. I could have been just born liking Batman. Now, I liked Batman when I was a kid because, you know, I liked him, any kid would like anybody because they're freaking cool, you know? But then, you know, as I got older, I started to learn more about the character. I started liking him for more than just he was cool. It's kind of like if I was a kid and I was really into Elmo, and then that just kind of like went further on in life and I started wearing like Elmo t-shirts and speaking like Elmo. I can't do the Elmo voice. We're cutting that. However, wouldn't it be extremely weird to see a guy walking around with nothing but Elmo merchandise decked out all over his body? So yeah, basically, Batman just kind of lingered throughout my entire life. However, you know, I do like other things. You know, people always kind of focus on the Batman thing. Batman does kind of take a bench sometimes to other things that I'm getting into. For example, right now, I'm really getting into Doctor Who, which is an awesome show if you haven't watched it yet. And so Batman's kind of taking a backseat to Doctor Who right now. But no matter how many paths I divert down, the main road I'm always going to stay on is the road of Batman. Believe it or not, I didn't really get into the Batman comics until maybe I was like 15 years old, which coincidentally enough was actually a pretty good time to start getting into the books because around that time was actually when Grant Morrison started his huge Batman epic. But on the negative side of that, I didn't really know where any comic book stores were, so any kind of individual single comic books that I got were always stuff from like Borders or something. This is my very first Batman comic book I ever picked up. Batman number 655 by Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert. This is the first issue in their Batman and Son storyline. But since I couldn't really find any comic book stores around, I kind of stuck with Borders and stuff like that. And I actually started buying, you know, the trades and stuff, which is a great place to start for anybody that's getting into the comics. I started to buy, like, you know, of course, Batman The Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns, Year One, you know, the classics. But of the classics, the one I couldn't find was Batman the Killing Joke. One of the more positive things is I got to look for comic book stores and I actually found some near me, but you know, none of even the comic stores had a copy of the Killing Joke except for one. There was this one comic book store that was a little far away that had a $60 copy of the Killing Joke, and I have it right here. This is it, right here. I don't know if it's one of the originals, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is an original printing or something. I'm flaunting my original copy of The Killing Joke, be jealous. I'm just very glad that I got a copy and I read it and I love it. I actually like the coloring in the original version more because it's got more of a retro thing. But yeah, so I have it. This is probably my favorite graphic novel that I own because it's like an original almost, it seems. So yeah, basically the rest is history. You know, I got into the books and read the comics, and you know, I got into comics more in general, and I love the movies, except for 2. By the way, do you guys like my new haircut? I got it today, and I thought I would show it off in a new video for you guys. So if you like it, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't, still give the video a thumbs up. Anyways, I talk too much. That's about it for me. A couple things I want you to do before you go. Thing number 1, in the comment section below, I want you guys to tell me what's something you're obsessed with. Is there something you really, really love or something you just can't live without? I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Tell me! Also, don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, ask me a question on Formspring, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, favorite if you want to, and I'll see you guys this Sunday with a brand new episode of Comics! Say that all in one breath! Bye, guys! Batman!